Hello and welcome to With the Old Investments and with the New Investments 20-minute webcast. We definitely appreciate you taking your time today and investing it in this webcast. We definitely believe that you will not be disappointed. I'm your host, Stephen Wolf, and we have our co-founder, Shane Sauer, here to teach us exactly what the title clarifies. So if you have any questions, please feel free to use the question panel in the top right-hand corner of your screen. You could either raise your hand, which we can unmute your line, and you can just ask a question, or if you want to just type it out, we're also happy to answer your question that way as well. We'll definitely take questions, and we'll take them at the end of the webcast. So without any further ado, Shane, take it away.
Thanks, Stephen, and welcome everybody. We're in 2017 going to try to shorten our webinars or webcasts to just deliver key information in shorter time frames that people can use. So this is one of our first try in that, and I felt it was appropriate to kind of talk about the new year, and we're heading into 2017, done with 2016, and if any of you are like me, when we move into a new year, it seems to be a good time for us to set goals or evaluate things, and one of those things being our investments. And between now, the start of the new year, and tax time, sometime in April, if you hold investment property or involved in investment property, you're probably going to be evaluating its performance or getting an idea of how it performed in the past year. And so what we wanted to do is to talk about that topic of what, after you evaluate a investment property, a rental property you have, what can you do, or how can you quickly assess and guide your decision making on if that property is underperforming, or if that property is performing as expected or whatever. But really, we're focusing on investments you may hold that are not performing to your expectations. How do you know if you can fix the problem through some changes, or if it's a problem that really doesn't have an easy fix besides letting the property go or selling the property? So on that topic, I want to introduce a tool that RentFacts created, and it is called the Risk Score, or Risk Index. And Stephen, I don't know if you could pass the screen to me.
Okay,
I can pull up.
Let me give this a shot.
Okay, I think I'm. People can see my screen here, and really, what I don't want to spend too much time on this, but really just how we can use it is the risk score is a score from 0 to 100 that we have developed that measures the rental income stability based on location. So 0 being low stability and 100 being very high stability. So what does that mean for you as an investor or an owner of a rental property? What that means is that if you own a rental property in a location that has a low score, say a 0 to 30 in that area, it is very likely that you will experience disruptions in your income stream. And so when you evaluate, when you're looking at your annual performance of your property, if that property is not performing well, this would be a good tool that you can use to pull the score. So let me tell you how to directly apply that. If you have a property and it has not performed up to your expectations, I would encourage you to go to our website and run this risk report. This risk report is going to provide you with the risk score of the location of your property. Based upon that, it is going to tell you two critical things. The first is, if your property is not performing as you would like, and it is located here's the score ranges from 0 to 100. Here's a report. I'll pull this up. And you can see that the risk index, this is what your report will look like. Here's the score you're going to get, both on an MSA level and USA. But let's just talk about MSA today. And here's this spectrum from 0 to 100. If you happen to own this property, and this is the score you returned, and at the same time you're reviewing its performance over the past year, and it has not performed well, this is very helpful because what we are providing you is concrete data. This score is developed through, I would say, thousands of data points, but data elements that are basically reflective of the behavior patterns of rental properties in that location. So this isn't our personal opinion, or this is not a subjective analysis of this location. This is a very objective analysis, data-driven information that you can see. And so this particular property scores a 9.53, which is quite low, and you can see in the red part of our scale. So if you own this property and things haven't been going well, you're fighting rent collections, maybe you've had some theft or vandalism on your property, maybe you've gone through an eviction, this, that, or the other, what this report would confirm to you is that the performance of that property is driven by its location. So this is a great day. If you're a property manager and listening to us, this is a fantastic day, because if I'm the owner of this property, I can yell and at my property manager all day long, or blame my property manager for poor management. But the reality is, no matter how you manage this property, because of its location, the likelihood of high income stability is very low, meaning those are problems that are symptomatic of the location. So going back to this red part, sometimes some people say, buyer beware in this area of use care, because what can happen is you'll have cash flow issues and everything else. As that score improves, the stability of the income from that property improves as well. So let me go back and repeat the conclusion. So within a matter of seconds, or however long it takes you to run this report, and these reports are very low cost, you are going to have an objective, data-driven analysis of the location that will pinpoint you to, is your property underperforming based on its location? If it is, this would lead you to sell. This is a prime example of, look, you are swimming upstream on this, meaning you're fighting the current, and you will not win. In the long run, the demographics of the area will always are always not in your favor. So we would always recommend to people that if you are in this red area, that this isn't necessarily a management issue. This is a location issue that is always going to have challenges. So let's say that we run our property and it comes back and its scores higher. So this particular, we run a different property and say we get back this score of a 50, which is up here in this green area. So same situation. You're not happy with the performance of your property. You go to RentFacts, you obtain the risk report, you look at the risk score, and it's 50. And it's scoring up here in the green. This tells us, or what this would indicate to us, is that you have a property in a location that should be performing as expected, that there should be good income stability in this location, in this neighborhood, and that shouldn't be the issue. So if things aren't performing as expected, then you would need to look at what's causing the performance to falter. Is it a lot of maintenance? Then maybe you have an aging asset or a lot of deferred maintenance. We wouldn't see that as a property management or a problem there. We would just say, okay, that would have been things to consider on acquisition of the age of the property and what deferred maintenance it had. But if you're seeing a lot of tenant turnover or non-payment or other things like that, this would really, we would ask you, or we would suggest at this point, to look at management strategies or management techniques, because in our experience working with property managers across the country, when properties score in this green area, they are able to successfully manage those properties with traditional property management techniques. So nothing special is required, but a diligent and a good property manager with good operations would find success in this area. So again, the content, or what we're trying to help people with in this webcast, is we're turning the page on a new year. People are often around this time evaluating the performance of their rental properties. And for those people that are not happy with how their current properties are performing, they can come to RentFacts, pull this score, and what it's going to do is tell them, hey, is the poor performance of my property really just dictated by the location in which I bought, or is the poor performance of my property potentially related to the management of the property? This single score will really guide you in asking those good questions and some curative solutions that you could implement to improve the performance or sell the property. Okay, so that is out with the old, or keep the old and change how it works, or maybe the old is performing great. Let's talk about in with the new. If in the year 2017, part of your game plan or part of what you wanted to do was go acquire new rental properties, again, now you have a tool that you can measure the risk associated with the location as well as the potential returns that you're going to get from it. So if you own property and you've had success in successful management and successful outcomes of that, you can use this to, again, match the risk threshold that you're seeing. So you're going to look for, maybe pull a risk score on existing inventory that you feel is performing well, and then you're going to find like neighborhoods with this same risk score, and you can expect comparable results. So if you're out there buying, now you have a tool. If you don't have any rental properties and you're looking to buy, you still have a great tool that you can go and match the level of risk and reward you're willing to take. If you are a very risk-averse person, you are going to want to favor locations that are scoring 40 or above in this green area. Areas that exhibit high stability, and you can count on that rental income coming in. Let's say, for expanding that, let's say you live in a town where you're unable to purchase rental properties in your town. It's due to cost, or that's very expensive, or whatever else. This is a tool that will enable you, with a high level of confidence, pursue investment properties and opportunities outside of your own backyard. Again, this is a nationwide scoring system that can be used in any city across the entire United States that will give you a good reflection of the risk associated with locations. So that's really what we wanted to hit on today. Again, as we move into this new year, one of our goals is to offer shorter applications of how investors, property managers, people that touch rental property can use the tools available and the reports available at RentFacts to really make better decisions and improve the outcomes they're seeing from their investments, whether it be old, existing, or new. So with that being said, I'm going to stop there so we can entertain any questions that may have come up, and then wrap it up from there. So, Stephen, are there any questions?
Sure. If you have a question, feel free to either raise your hand by clicking the hand icon, and we can unmute your line. Or if you just want to type in a question, then we can answer it that way. Someone has a question that said, I love how the report looks. It looks very useful. But how would I go about purchasing it? And if so, how much does it cost?
Good. So you can acquire the reports at our website. that website is, my screen's still going here. Let me come out and go to it here. So the website is rentfaxpro.com, and I'll just go to the website versus the login. And you'll come to the website, and you can run your first report for free, which is a great way to test out the system. You would come in here, you would create an account and get a login. Once you have a login, you would come in, and it looks, your login would look like this. And so here's an account I may use, and I log in. And then once you log in, you can you select one of these risk products, enter an address, and run the report. As far as cost, the pricing is based upon the product you want and the volume you're going to use. So in this particular example, we are talking about our risk reports that require 2 or 3 credits. And if you're a fairly consistent or you're looking to buy, you're going to be acquiring several credits because you're going to look at several properties before you make a substantial investment. So you're looking at somewhere between $4 to $5, in that ballpark range to run a report. So a modest expense when you're thinking about the average rental property is well over, $100,000 or more. So you're going to spend fractions of that to really aggregate a tremendous amount of data and guide you in that decision-making process. So.
Fantastic. One last question. It says, how long is the report that you just showed us?
Good question. So there's two reports. There's a risk and summary report right here. That's 2 credits, and a risk detail report. The risk summary report provides the 2 scores, and that's really what what I would say our bulk users and a lot of our repetitive users, once they understand what the score looks, what it means, how it translates into their business applications, a lot of them are using the summary report, which is 2 pages, really 1 page, and it provides those 2 scores. The risk detail report is a 9-page report, and the other 8 pages, we are providing all the granular detail behind the development of the risk score. And if you want, there are example reports, I believe, on the website. You can pull down and look at sample reports and get an idea of what those reports may look like, what's included in them, and you can get some additional information. So here's you can download these sample reports, and it will show information. And again, there's more information and more explanation as well on the website.
Fantastic. Looks like we have about 1 or 2 minutes to spare. So I wanted to thank you all for making time today for our 20-minute webcast. Hopefully you learned something that you can use. And please let us know if you have any questions, not only during the webinar, but even after the webinar. Feel free to email us at questions@rentfaxpro.com or support@rentfaxpro.com. Shane, any last words?
No, just thanking everybody for their time today to join in, and hopefully we presented some information that will lead you to some better investment decisions in 2017.
Fantastic. Again, thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye-bye.